This is a story of a little girl who ventures to a far, far away land and gets lost. She never finds her way back home, and she's taken by a terrible monster. No, that's not right. This is a story of a teenage girl who rides a train in an unknown region, falls in a dark hole, and she's never seen again. No, that never happened. This is a true story of when I traveled to Lisbon, Portugal for the very first time and wasn't really sure what was going to happen next. I fought through loads of fear and uncertainty, had some bright moments, but by the end of the night, I was scared. Today's adventure is about handling fear and uncertainty like a boss. What happened to me? You'll just have to watch and see. Before we get started, if you're excited to learn strategies to help you become the fearless leader you're meant to be, hit the subscribe button and bell icon now so you'll never miss an episode. Welcome to Adventures in Leadership on Kristie TV. This is where high achievers go for the tools, confidence, and motivation to become a successful leader. Let's do this. In life, we'll never be certain of every single thing 100% of the time. Life has a way of throwing curveballs at us, even with the best intentions. But if we allow those curveballs to constantly hit us, well then fear, anxiety, and stress and all those unwanted feelings take over. And then we can't even problem solve. But the best leaders know how to catch the curveball and throw it right back with gusto. I was excited to explore Lisbon, Portugal for the very first time, but I had a lot of barriers. And I had two choices on how to handle that. Either let fear take over me and give up, or press on and just figure it out. When you watch my ups and downs of my day trip in Lisbon, see if you can find all the really good leadership tips on how to handle uncertainty like a boss. Let's now go to the wonderful city of Lisbon. It all started on a somewhat down note. I wasn't familiar with the airport, and I really had no clue where the Uber driver wanted to pick me up. And after he called me, it was a tough conversation between my English and his Portuguese. Finally, I wandered into the right spot, and he picked me up. I gave him the hotel address, but after a while of driving, he says to me, "I can't find it." Oh no, did I give him the right hotel address? Oh, I don't know where we are. Oh my gosh, this Uber drive is really gonna cost me a mint. Between the two of us, barely understanding each other, we did figure it out and he dropped me off safe and sound. I check into the hotel and have only half a day to explore the city that everybody said was amazing. And the hotel clerk gave me all the maps and then told me how to get to the train station. And I was excited. I had a whole list of places and landmarks that I wanted to see. So I walked the short distance to the train station, but when I got there, more uncertainty hit. The metro was huge. I had no clue where to go. Most everything was not in English. And then when I asked for help, they didn't understand me. I didn't know which train to go on. I didn't know which direction to go in. I was completely confused. But did I give up? No. I found a police officer, pointed to the map and said, "This is where I want to go." So he showed me how to buy a ticket for the train. He even showed me which train that I should be taking. So I hopped on the train on faith, and here's what happened. Well, welcome to Lisbon. I am now on the train. I am trying to get to the city center, and then hopefully I will get to see a couple landmarks. But this is a really busy city. I mean, check out. Yeah. This is how you get around in Lisbon. So, welcome to Lisbon. Let's see what happens on this new adventure. Never been here before, so let's see what happens. Hopefully I don't get lost, but anyway, cool city so far. Yes! I made it! Made it to downtown in the city center. But where exactly was I, and now what was I going to do? Because I quickly found out I didn't have enough time to take a bus ride to all the landmarks that I wanted to see. And then I found out most of them were closed. So I was really bummed. But I did follow some expert advice. Okay, welcome everybody to Lisbon. It's really cold, it's rainy, and I was told that when you go to Lisboa, as they call it here, is to just go to the city center and get lost. So guess what? I'm lost, but in a good way. I have maps, that's okay, I know where I'm going, I figured out the metro, took the train here, but check it out. It is really hilly here, and the streets, they're like cobblestones, so when they get water on them, it's very slippery. But what's really cool is you can kind of see the water behind me. So maybe I'll get there, maybe I won't, I have no clue. But anyway, this has been a very challenging time to get here. There's not a lot of people who speak English, but like I said, I'm good, I've got maps, and I've found a place that I'm gonna go eat. So we're gonna see what happens here in Lisbon. All right. I pushed through the rain and the uncertainty and decided I was just going to enjoy my journey. So I ducked into a small, quiet restaurant, and the waiter spoke English. And he put me at ease, and I leaned on him for some meal suggestions, something new. Well, guess what? I tried rabbit for the very first time. It had a consistency of like tuna fish. And then I asked for olive oil to have with my bread. That's apparently not a very common practice in Lisbon, because when the waiter came over to bring me the olive oil, he asked me if I was from Brazil. And I said, no, I'm from the United States. He said, oh, well, we have a lot of travelers here from South America, and they always ask for olive oil with their bread. Who knew? Let me know in the comments below if you know of any truth to that. After an early dinner, it was time to wander around. Check out all these great shots as I wandered up and down Lisbon. Was it rainy and chilly? Yes. Was the ground slippery like ice? Yes. Was I a little worried about tripping and falling all the way down one of those steep hills? Oh yes. Climbing up those hills was no joke, but I was determined to make the best of it. I was going to leave Lisbon with great memories, not sour ones. And since this was my first time in Europe, I was in awe of everything. I decided to be a kid again and just soak everything up, uncertainty and all, especially not knowing what was going to happen next. And then I found an awesome spot like this. Time ran short and I had to head back. This time I stuck to only a couple streets to easily make my way back to the train station. And I didn't get to see any of the landmarks that I wanted to see, but I still had an adventure. And on my way back, I saw all these beautiful sights, including how Lisbon residents do their pizza delivery. How interesting. For getting myself to downtown Lisbon despite all those pitfalls and with the metro train station in sight, I decided to stop for a little local treat right before I had to hop on a train back to my hotel. It was a little cold and chilly outside, so a hot tea and a slice of really good local dessert was in order. And I sat in the back of that cafe, relaxed, and enjoyed the sights and sounds of a colorful city. I was going to end my adventure on a high note. I stayed in Lisbon later than I wanted, but I was proud of myself for finding the metro station and hopping on the right train back to my hotel. But when I got off the train, it was very dark. It was pitch dark. And when I got off the train, nothing looked familiar. There was nothing open, nobody was around to ask for help, and I really did not know which way to go. So I pulled out my map app and somehow it got confused and it didn't know which way to go either. So then suddenly I found myself wandering around busy streets and alleys and under bridges. I was scared. It was dark, I had no clue if the area that I was in was safe or dangerous. And then suddenly my imagination started running away with itself, thinking of all the things that could happen to a young woman who's just wandering around in the dark in an unfamiliar country. After wandering around for 30 minutes, I just stopped myself. I was getting stressed and frustrated and upset and I couldn't think. So then I said, Kristie, if you really want to find your way back to your hotel, you need to stop and you need to problem solve. So that's what I did. I stopped, I looked back at my phone app and I said, oh, there's a shortcut just up that hill, up that really tall, steep stairwell. Lisbon loves their stairwells because hills. So after I got on the top of that hill, I finally found my hotel street. And I even saw this arch, beautiful arch that I took a picture of. I don't even know what it was, but it was like a beacon of hope for me to find my way back to my hotel. And I did find my way back to my hotel, safe and sound, and I handled fear and uncertainty like a boss. How did you like Lisbon? Did you catch the ups and downs of uncertainty and fear, but also some of the bright spots? Did you see how each situation was handled? Because life will throw you all sorts of things that you're not ready for. But the point is to not let it define you or your leadership journey. I would encourage you to do this one action item. Write down in detail, how do you handle uncertainty? Is it with fear, stress, and shutdown? Or do you problem solve, push through, and handle it like a boss? Really look at those answers. And if you're not happy with what you wrote down, well then you can book a free leadership strategy session with me so we can talk about it. You'll find that link down below. Now I'd love to hear from you. What resonated with you the best about this whole story? Let me know in the comments below and give this video a thumbs up. If you loved what you saw today and you want more, you got it. Just hit the subscribe button and the bell icon below and you'll be notified when a new adventure is posted every week. And if you know someone who could use some leadership tips, success strategies, or would enjoy stories like this, well, hit the share button and share it with them. They may just thank you for it. Thanks for tuning in to Kristie TV and keep moving through those uncertain times. Do you want to be a confident, next level leader, but your job doesn't offer any solid training? Are you unsure of how or where to start? Then let's talk. Schedule a free leadership strategy session with me. If you're a driven professional and you're serious about taking your success to the next level, just click the link in the description below. We'll talk about your challenges and next steps you can take to be the leader you're meant to be. Let's move you forward now.